there are a lot of property ownership restrictions in Thailand. If you're thinking about coming out here to, you know, buy or rent properties, renting is quite easy. You can rent condos and apartments and houses very, very easily. But if you want to own a house over here, most guys that come over here, they would like marry to a Thai, and that's how they kind of get a house over here. They have a joint mortgage with their missus, or they buy the house outright with cash, or they buy the land and then they build a house with their missus, and it's kind of joint ownership. But, you know, the rights of the land is always with the Thai lady. But other guys, you know, lease houses over in Thailand, and you can get like a 30-year lease. Certain amount of uncertainty with the leasing. I mean, hopefully you can lease for the 30 years and then renew the lease after 30 years, but there's no kind of stipulation, you know, after that 30 years, maybe they're going to take the land back. So, you know, that could be an issue. But if you're really old and you're buying a house and you're leasing it, you know, if you're 60 odd, you know, chances are you're probably going to be dead by the time the next lease comes up. And that's worst case scenario, guys. You know, I mean, that's looking on the downside, you know. I mean, hopefully nothing would happen. It will just go through and you renew the lease anyway in 30 years. The next one would be like social isolation. A lot of expats come to Thailand and they're like, oh, go live in the middle of bloody nowhere. So, you know, this can be a bit of a problem if you live in a real rural area and you have no other expats or no other people that speak the same language as yourself, and you can end up feeling quite isolated in that area, guys. Climatic extremes in Thailand. Now, you might laugh, but it is a bit of an issue for some guys who are living over here. You know, there are some extremes of temperature around the country, and it does do your head in at times. You know, the humidity is off the scale at times. You know, for a month or two every year, you know, it goes crazy hot, and the humidity kind of drives you to live inside for a couple of months, which can be a bit annoying at times. The other time of year where it can be annoying is, you know, during the heavy rainy season. This is depending where you live. This is why I kind of suggest you pick a drier area to retire or come over to live in Thailand. You know, places like Phuket, they have a hell of a lot of rainfall down there, you know, on Koh Chang and other areas around Thailand. They have a lot higher percentage of rainfall and, you know, really heavy flooding. I mean, they have flooding all over Thailand, but certain areas are definitely worse and they last a lot longer in certain areas, guys. So just do your research and choose wisely, I would say. Going to Thailand, dealing with the visa regulations can be a bit of a pain sometimes. You know, a lot of guys, you know, go on retirement visas over here, or they go on marriage visas, or there's a tourist visa. There's so many different types of visas and they're constantly changing. It's something to really think about before you come over to Thailand. You know, what visa are you going to go on? Are you going to go on the elite visa and pay more money? Or you're going to, you know, and just be aware that these visa regulations are going to keep changing. You know, they're not always stay the same. Next one would be loneliness and mental health problems in Thailand. I think this is a big problem all around the world, but especially in Thailand, you know, because there's a lot of alcohol thrown around. There's a lot of ladies, you know, broken up from guys, and, you know, guys are kind of broken hearted, and this can lead you down a, you know, a road of despair if you pick the wrong lady. Like, that can happen anywhere in the world, but it happens, I think, a lot in Thailand because there are a lot of, you know, relationships between Westerners and Thai ladies. So, you know, this does happen quite a bit. And, you know, there are some money issues as well that some guys have with some Thai ladies. So it can cause all kinds of depression. Another thing I think they suffer with, if you go out and live out in the real rural areas, then, you know, you're probably going to be a bit isolated. This can cause some kind of loneliness. You know, you're going to be on your own. But just the same, if you're living in some big place like Pattaya, you know, you can still feel very, very lonely, even with people surrounded with you all the time. This is why it's really important, especially as you get older, but have a really good group of circle of close friends you talk shit to every day, or, you know, at least a few times a week, so you can let off some steam. I think this is super important. Language barrier is a massive problem. Don't speak a word of Thai in Thailand. You know, if you stick to all the tourist areas, then you're absolutely fine. You know, a lot of people speak English in these areas. But if you go out remote, then you're gonna, you know, have a massive language problem, you know, and it's gonna feel quite isolated out there if you don't speak Thai, or you don't speak a little bit of Thai to kind of get by and then learn a bit more as you go on out there. But so just beware of this. If you're an older guy coming here, you want to retire here, and you're thinking about going out in the sticks, you're gonna have to learn some of the language for sure, else your life's gonna be shit, because you're not gonna be able to talk to anybody. It's gonna be really, really boring for you guys, because there's not there are, in certain areas in the rural places, there are a lot of expats living, but you have to just pick your place wisely where there's other expats living. You know, out in Isan, there are a lot of other expats living out that area, Udon, and lots of other places around Thailand. So just make sure there's other expats around there, join groups and try and meet up with, you know, some until you get a bit of a grasp on the language. I mean, it does take a while to learn the language. If you're an older guy, I think it take you a bit longer. Everyone's different how you learn and how good you are at learning and how shit you are at learning. You know, that's just language. You know, you just have a go. Some people pick it up super quick. Some people it takes years and years and years, like myself. I'm really slow. But, you know, other people, you know, they study for 6 months and they're fluent. It's like, what? How'd you do that? It's crazy. I remember this one guy I worked with in a school in Thailand, and I was just like, and I asked him, oh, can you read Thai? Because I can read a little bit of Thai. And he started like, he says, yeah, I can read Thai, not too bad. And I'm like, and he opened this book and he just starts reading fluently from this freaking book. And I'm like, Jesus, like really like fast paced reading. And I'm like, jeez, man. And I was like, how long you been learning like? And he says, no, I've not really learned. I just pick it up as I go along. And I'm like, what? How can you do that, mate? I've been learning Thai for like 8 years. I've literally I spent 5 years having private lessons. I literally studied like for 3 years. I studied every day, like 2-3 hours. It's like, what the hell? How have you managed to just do that? And he's only been in Thailand 1 year. And I'm just like, what? How has he done this? And I had got a wife and everything in Thailand. And I'm just like, I'm blown away. So I think, you know, some people pick up languages very quick. Other people, it takes them 20 years. It's not, you know, everyone is different. You can't compare yourself to some random guy. That guy was a younger guy, but he must have had a knack for learning languages. A scam in Thailand for guys who come over to Thailand. And before I tell you, I just want to make you aware that Thailand is a super safe country and there aren't really any proper scams here. It's a lack of common sense from foreigners when they come over here. There are things that go on that, you know, can catch foreigners out, but most of these things happen all around the world. It's just lack of common sense. So this scam that happens, I think, is, you know, the girl who rips off the foreign guy. I mean, you hear a lot of stories about this in Thailand, and it's a bit of a shame because girls in Thailand get a bit of a bad rep for it. You know, 99.9% of girls will do you no harm in Thailand. Is that like 1% of these bar girls, freelance girls, massage girls, whatever, these money girls, whatever you want to call them, who are after kind of guys and they want money really, and the guys think it's a girlfriend, and there's this kind of crossover where the guy thinks it's a girlfriend, the girl just is in for the money, and there's this kind of mix up, and yeah, there's a bit of, you know, heartbreak from the guy, and he'll lose, you know, money and break his heart, he'll end up lonely and depressed and God knows what. So just, yeah, stay away from these girls in Thailand. Not really bar girls, freelance girls, massage girls, just girls who are after money. Hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy.